You were promised abundance, more intelligence, lower costs, a bigger pie. And to be fair, part of that promise is real. OECD's review of experimental research finds productivity gains in many knowledge tasks, often in the 5% to 25% range or higher. A BS field experiment found coding output rising by more than 50%, with the biggest gains showing up among junior workers. That sounds like progress. But here is the lie. A bigger pie is not the same thing as a fairer slice. AI can be positive-sum at the task level and still feel brutally zero-sum where people actually live: wages, hiring, bargaining power, and market access. The old myth said one side had to lose for the other to win. The new myth says that once productivity rises, everybody wins automatically. That is just a cleaner version of the same FA. Tasty. Why? Because gains do not just float down from the sky. They move through complementary assets: data, compute, workflow redesign, legal cover, customer access, and capital. CEPR's survey-based evidence on firms in Europe finds average productivity gains from AI adoption, but also says diffusion is skewed toward larger, more productive firms. OECD's cross-country evidence also stresses the role of complementary assets in turning AI use into productivity. In plain English, AI may help the beginner, but scale still helps the giant. That is the first mistake people make. They think they are competing with a model. They are not. They are competing with organizations that can wrap the model in software, distribution, compliance, and management discipline. The model may get cheaper. Deployment does not. Distribution does not. Compliance does not. Cheap intelligence does not erase power. It amplifies whoever can deploy it fastest. Then there is the stack. Yale Law and Policy argues that AI is already concentrated within and across multiple layers. The point is simple. If a small group controls compute, infrastructure, distribution, and learning loops, the economy can look more abundant on the surface while getting more zero-sum underneath. More tools may become available. Control can It'll get tighter. That is why so many people feel the contradiction. They hear, AI creates more value. Maybe, but they also see the prize pool flowing upward. They see smaller players paying integration costs while larger players absorb them better. They see access widening at the tool level while leverage concentrates at the system level. IMF research says the global impact of AI will be uneven, shaped by sector exposure, preparedness, and access to essential data and technologies. The pie can grow and still be captured. So when people say zero-sum thinking is outdated, the honest answer is only partly. Yes, AI can create positive-sum outcomes. It can lower the cost of expertise, widen access to some tasks, and lift output. But at the level that decides who gets hired, who gets funded, who keeps margin, and who gets locked out, zero-sum pressure is still very much alive. It did no. Disappear. It moved. That is the part people keep missing. The future fight is not human versus machine. It is distribution versus concentration, diffusion versus capture, open access versus gated leverage. The real question is not whether AI makes more. The real question is who co-eps the surplus once it does. That is the lens for this channel. Never stop at AI makes the pie bigger. Ask who owns the oven. Ask who sets the price. Ask who gets into the kitchen. And ask who gets told there is no seat left. That is the zero-sum lie they sold you. They told you abundance would end conflict. In reality, abundance without distribution just builds a more efficient hierarchy. So before you celebrate the next productivity miracle, ask one simple question. If the pie is getting bigger, why does the F over slices feel even more vicious?